Now, you asked me to break down this 12 tribe sign and why we're so spent on knowing that it's correct. There's much archaeology to show that. Here's a book right here called, yeah, and that's amazing. See, that's a Hebrew Israelite. That looks like, that's Rabbi Marcus Garvey came out of that movement himself. But that's been kept secret. You try to go on the internet to get it and all that, oh, you can't find it, you know? But anyway, let me say this. Let me say this. I want you to see the name of this book here. It's called History of the American Indian by James Adair. Now I want you to understand something what's on the front of this book. This don't look nothing like an Indian because the Indians are black. So-called Native American Indians are black. A lot of them things you see running around on the reservation today are nothing but Will Rogers kids. And that's a whole nother story. But I'm going to show you one thing, Sinetta, before I break down that 12 tribe sign. Yes, sir. Here's a book called, now this is about nothing but American Indians. The name of this book is called The Great Chiefs. The Great Chiefs. And I want to know, do Indians look like this? That's what I want to know. I want to find out, do they look like, Frenchmen? No. Or do they look like niggas? Let's find out. We're going to find out in this book called The Great Chiefs. What do the real North American Indians look like? Now, I'm not knocking out all the ones that are fair-skinned because you're going to have many of them that are fair-skinned because of the rape and the robbery and the murder that went on among them throughout their nations, that the white man mingled his seed up and then tried to destroy them. But you can't get better than this. This is a meeting of members of the Dreamer group. You know, they're calling it a cult. But this is back in 1860. This picture was taken. Surrounding the prophet, because them Indians was calling themselves prophets. That's how you know they were Israelites also. He got a difficult name. Samohala Center with the white shirt, who preached that the Indian dead would rise and drive the white man from their land. Joseph shared Shahamala's reverence for land, but not his anti-white bias. Now look, all the great chiefs, you got all these different chiefs in here, Indians. I want you to understand, these are Aboriginal American Indians, and you don't get a white face out of none of them. Every one of them is black as charcoal. Now that's in 1860. Yes. They're black as charcoal. Where's this white Indian stuff? They don't look like Will Rogers kids. These are true American Indians still walking around today. Many of them live in South Dakota, North Dakota. Some of them live down in Florida, in the Florida Keys and swamps, in different parts of North Carolina, South Carolina. Hell, my grandmother was Cherokee Indian. She was this black as tar. Okay, I hear you. Yeah, another soldier, that's right. But I'm showing you the real image of what the real Indian looked like. Right. So when the white man said redskin, what do you see any red-skinned people here? What's this nonsense about Indians being red? Do you see a red Indian in here? Now this is in black and white. There's no red Indian here. Everything on here is black as shoe polish. I just wanted to get that picture up good. The name of that book again, and this is on page 170 and page 171. One more time. The name of that book is called The Great Chiefs. It's by, I think it's Time and Life magazine. Time Life magazine. You probably can't even get it now. You know, you might be able to get it, but, you know, do you want to know why we say that the North American Indians and the different people on that sign are Israelites? Well, here's a white boy named James Adair. He lived among the North American Indian for years. And he learned all their customs, Sinetta. And he found out that all the customs that these Indians kept were customs of black Hebrew Jews. And this is what he says on page 26 in the top paragraph. in behalf of Adair, talking about James Adair, in his theory of the Jewish origin of the American Aborigines, meaning North American Indians, it should be pointed out that a long line of writers, both before and after him, held the same view. Soon after the discovery of America, the theory was advanced that the Indians derived from the lost tribes of Israel. I got it documented right there. You want to know why we say these people are our people and that they're Israelites? Here's a white boy telling you this. and he lived among them. Right. Every week he would see them do their prayers and everything in Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. See that right there? Mm-hmm. That's going to be powerful. So when you see the brothers with the red, black, and green,
yeah,
come from Marcus Garvey.
Right.
So how can you hate on the Hebrew Israelites?
Right.
His own
soldiers were Hebrew Israelites.
See, I gave him the documentation.
That's good.
Right
good. Very good.
If you was to take the time and read it.
Right.
Y'all see it.
Right.
You see all of them right there standing.
But here's how we know the North American Indian is a Hebrew Israelite. It's documented right there on page 126. Mm. Right there on page 126. You got to hold it down. We're recording here.
Yes.
Now, that's just one book. I have endless sources of books. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to show you another one where they come out with this guy. When he first came to New York, he was an explorer, and he met the North American. This is a total different guy. By the way, this book was going for $5,000 on the internet. $5,000. They lowered it down, I think, to $2,000 now. Last time we checked, it was $2,000. Yeah. And you want to know why the book costs so much? We're going to read to you why. They don't want you to get that information that's in here. Yeah, right. Or the Bible. Then we saw a Bible, one that I have, that was going for $12,000. Can you believe that? And I only paid, the original price of it was $80. So they don't want you to learn nothing. Now on page 364, this is what it says in this book here. Lost Tribes in the Promised Land. See, this is what every Hebrew Israelite group should be doing. When they talk, they should be out there proving what they're saying with facts. Mm-hmm. The Bible first, but have the archaeological facts and the historical facts to back the Bible up, because the Bible is the most accurate history book on the face of this earth. Now, I've checked out all kind of books. I've been fortunate enough in my time to teach at Columbia University. I have that documented. I have that on film. And that's not the only university I've taught at. And they don't invite idiots and dumb people there to teach. Believe that. You better know what you're talking about when you go in front of them professors and them scholars at Columbia. They will chew you up like chewing gum and spit you on the ground if you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, now this is it on page 364. I want to show you something here. When the guy first came to New York, it was called New Amsterdam. Wasn't called New York. You understand? Mm-hmm. He ran into a couple of American Indians. And here's the first thing they said. They rolled up on a little boat. There was a woman and two other Indians with her. And they spoke to this guy in the Hebrew tongue. And here's what they said. When they rolled up to him in the boat, the first thing these two Indians said, this is on page 364 in the bottom of the second paragraph. The Indians answered this guy that was standing on the water's edge. The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in the Indian tongue that Montesinos could not understand because it was Hebrew. Although he could perceive that he was being identified in conversation, she then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing the words, they rose up and went over to Montesinos, and to his utter astonishment said, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Ehad, which means, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. We say that in here, but we say it in the pure Hebrew tongue. The so-called Jew purposely, when he translated it in a way where it wouldn't say in the so-called Aramaic, which is the real ancient Hebrew, where we say, Yeshua, Allah, Allahayna wa, Yahweh, Akkad, Shemaz, Yeshua, Allah. Now she's saying the same thing right here. I'm reading in the bottom paragraph, the second paragraph. Shema, Yisrael, Adonai, Elohim, Elohinu, Adonai, Ehad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. There it is right there. I mean, this is right on page 364. In the bottom of the second paragraph, right there. You can read it yourself. I'm going to let you see it yourself, brother. See right here. Let me put, where's my pen at? Let me mark that so he can know I'm not making this stuff up. See, the Bible says, prove all things, Sinetta. If you can't prove what you're saying, it's best to go ahead and be quiet until you can get your facts together. Then you come back and, you start saying what you got to say.